welcome to another mathematics lesson. Right now we are going to be dealing with finite arithmetic series. So these are the important formulae that we're going to be using. The first one is Sn is equal to n over 2, open bracket, 2a plus n minus 1d. A is the first term, and d is t2 minus t1, or the current term minus the previous term, in simple words. Then the following one is Sn is equal to n over 2, open bracket, a plus l, where a is the first term and l is the last term. And here are just some information that you need to remember. So the first term is the same as the first series. T1 is equal to S1. And the last formula is, if you're looking for Tn and you are given the formula for the series, so Tn is equal to Sn minus Sn minus 1. So for example, if you are asked to calculate T4 and you are given the formula for the series, T4 is equal to S4 minus S3. And then these are just what we'll be doing for now. So I'm going to give you time. Okay, so the first questions gives the first four terms of an arithmetic sequence are 10, followed by 17, followed by 24, followed by 31. 1.1 states, determine the value of the nth term, right? So we are given that this is an arithmetic sequence. That's the formula, right? So you label T1, T2, T3, T4. So A is T1, which is 10, right? And then D, T2 minus T1. T2 is 17 minus T1 is 10. 7, right? So Tn, A is 10 plus n minus 1, D is 7. 10 plus n times 7 is 7n, negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. 7n, 10 minus 7 is plus 3. That's the nth term, sorry. And then 1.2 asks, which term in the sequence will be equal to 108? So we just know that Tn is equal to 108, right? We know the formula for Tn is 7n plus 3. (108 minus 3 is 105). divide both sides by 7. This cancels, this cancels. So we get n is equal to 15. So T15 is equal to 108. 1.3 states calculate the sum of the first 40 terms. So sum, we are dealing with series. So we know that n is 40. And we know that our a from calculation, a is 10 and d is 7. So it's Sn is equal to n over 2 2a plus n minus 1 d. So it's going to give us n is 40 over 2. Okay, it should have been corner brackets. 2. A is 10 plus 40 minus 1. D is 7. And this is a fine mess I've made. 40 divided by 20 is 20. 2 times 10 is 20 plus 40 minus 1 is 39 times 7. So I'm getting, sorry, S40. Should have been S40. Yeah. My mistake. The answer I'm getting is S40 is equal to 5,860. Number 2 states, find the sum of the first 30 terms of an arithmetic sequence with the general term Tn is equal to 8n minus 13. So we're given the general term, right? So let's just write the formula to familiarize yourself with it. We have n is 30, right? A is T1, which is 8 times 1 minus 13, which is -5. Then we just need D. T2 minus T1. T2 is 8 open bracket 2 minus 13 minus T1 is -5. So D is actually 8. I should have just used that, right? So we're calculating S30. The answer I'm getting is 3,330. Number 3 states given 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus others in between 2n terms is equal to negative 3,325. The question states calculate the number of terms in the series. So we know we're dealing with a series, right? So if we're dealing with a series, we know that we have Sn. Negative 3,325. A is T1, which is 7, right? So we have to find out what kind of series we're dealing with. By calculation, we're dealing with an arithmetic series. So D is T2 minus T1, which is 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. So as usual, you write your formula. So Sn is negative 3,325. A is 7. D is negative 3. Forgive the overlap there. To simplify, you multiply both sides by 2. I'm getting negative 6,650. And 2 times 7 is 14. N times negative 3 is negative 3, and negative 1 times negative 3 is plus 3. Hmm. 6,650. 14. Oh, sorry. So 14 plus 3 is 17. 17 times n is 17n. N times negative 3 is negative 3n squared. Taking this to the other side, it becomes 3n squared minus 17n minus 6,650 is equal to 0. Then you're going to use the quadratic formula. So n is 50 by calculation, or n is negative 133 over 3, but n is 50 because n is always positive, right? So as we can see, there are 50 terms. Okay, number 4 states Given the arithmetic sequence, in the brackets you have -5 plus, in brackets you have -11 plus, in brackets you have -17. Write down the next 3 terms in the sequence. So as usual, this is T1, this is T2, this is T3, right? So it's arithmetic. What do? D is T2 minus T1. So it's going to be -11 minus -5. So D is -6, right? So we're always subtracting 6 from the previous term, right? So it's going to be -17 minus 6, which is -23. T5 is -23 minus 6, which is -29. T6 is -29 minus 6, which is -35. 4.2 states, calculate the sum of the first 20 terms of the sequence. So n is 20. And then we know that a is T1, which is -5. And then D, T2 minus T1, which we had already calculated, -11 minus -5, which is -6. As usual, you start with the formula. Then we say S, n is 20. 20 over 2. 2, what is A? -5 plus n minus 1. What is D? -6. This is a mess, I know. 2 times -5 is, oh, n is 20. So here we're supposed to put 20. -10 plus 19 times -6. I get -1240. And then number 5 states, given an arithmetic sequence with T5 is equal to -51 and D is equal to -11, determine how many terms must be added together to give a sum of -565. Oh my, so we need to find A. We are given D, right? D is -11, right? And then we are given T5. So we have to use T5 to calculate A. T5, A plus 5 minus 1. What's D? -11. Then by working out, -51 is equals to A plus 4 times -11. A is negative 7 by calculation. Then we substitute, we use the Sn formula, right? Yeah, I killed it by not leaving enough space. So Sn is negative 565. A is negative 7. D is negative 11. As usual, we multiply by 2. So we get negative 1130, and 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, n times negative 11 is negative 11, and negative 1 times negative 11 is positive 11. Like times, so n times negative 11, n is negative 11. N squared, negative 14 plus 11, negative 3. Negative 3 times n is negative 3n. Take everything, 11n squared plus 3n minus 1130 is equal to 0. Use the quadratic formula. So by calculation, you'll find that n is 10. The other positive value, the other negative value rather, is negative 10,27 recurring. So 10 times need to be added together to give this. You can verify. You paused. Okay, students, so that was part 1. Take a short break and then we'll do part 2.